An actual sane, responsible, manageable month in October. Let's talk about these new additions. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another book haul, this time for October of 2022. And very interesting spooky season on the channel that did include adding some new titles to the home library. So, guys, a little lighter of a month this month, which is fine. It really is fine. But I just say that this won't be as usual, as in-depth or as long as most book hauls. I say that now, but watch when I'm done with this and be like, hey, this video's like 20 minutes. Because that's just the way that I do it, because I just do stuff like this, the stuff that you didn't tune in to do. That's what I'm doing right now. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and begin like usual with what? Digital purchases, because I always do say that they do count. Some interesting additions, but during spooky season, I did have a guest on the channel, which was Rachel from the Shades of Orange, which is one of my favorite horror channels out there. Pretty much my favorite horror booktuber, her. And even though he doesn't call himself a booktuber, Jaime and Fuego over at the Horror Show, I do love all his Stephen King material. But when we were talking on our Talk About Nothing last month, we did get to this conversation about some horror authors, and one that I asked her about was Adam Neville. Now, this is the author I've been kind of eyeballing for a while since I watched The Ritual on Netflix. So, guys, I went ahead and picked up a couple of his books, starting with The Ritual, which was, like I said, I loved the movie on Netflix. That was really good, creepy, Lovecrafty kind of vibes. But I also got Last Days and No One Gets Out Alive. These are books that people have told me, hey, I think Stephen King fans will like this. Very much like The Troop with Nick Cutter, where it was like, it's not like Stephen King, but I think that Stephen King fans will like it. So I went ahead and threw those on there, probably either for my standalones next year, which I'm going to talk about soon. We'll talk about my standalones I plan to get to in 2023. And then obviously spooky season next year. So that is kind of going to be on the 2023 plans to see if I like the author as much as I like that movie on Netflix. Next up, if you do notice that BookTube has found a new darling, and it is Ken Liu, and it is the Dandelion Dynasty. Well, thanks to my buddy Petrick, who showed that they cannot make matching covers for this series, I went ahead and said, why don't I go ahead and pick that up on the Kindle? So I did pick up all 4 books in the now completed Dandelion Dynasty. I have no immediate plans for when I'm going to do this series, guys, but it is something that is on my radar just based off of feedback. Everyone tells me that I will love it, and it's just one of those things. I think it was a Library of a Viking like a couple weeks ago. He was like, hey, has anybody else like heard of this series? I'm like, are you kidding? I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't read it, you know? So it was kind of, I think, a tongue-in-cheek, just some humor by him, because, other channels are funny, and I'm just me, so there it is. Great channel. Check him out if you haven't. Great Instagram. I can only hope that my Instagram could be as big as his one day. I don't know. I just don't take great pictures, I don't guess. A coffee mug and a picture of a book isn't as exciting, I guess, is what some actual pros out there do. But, guys, that's all I got for digital. Let's move ahead a little bit to some of the physical stuff that I went ahead and picked up this month. Now, it was only a couple, but they were pricey, so I kind of wanted to set the stage here. I did pick up Rise of the Dragon, the new technically George R.R. Martin book. And I say technically because it is very much his history, but he really pretty much, according to, I think, Linda, I can never say it. Elio and Linda is what I've been calling them since I've been going to Westeros.org since like the early 2000s. They basically said like he was there for like the signature sign, the contract signing. But it is all of his material. But really these books, guys, are about the artwork. It is very much another history book, just like World of Ice and Fire. This one focuses a little more in depth on the Targaryen dynasty. And guys, the art is out of this world amazing. So really, guys, if it says George R. R. Martin and it's from the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, I'm getting it. That's just law. And I will have to say that this book is another beauty. Haven't had time to go through and read it yet because I feel like I just reread Fire and Blood. I don't feel like I need to do another version of it, but I did check out all the awesome artwork. And it's something that I think I will visit when I get maybe start getting a little anxious for season 2 of House of the Dragon. I might get into it to kind of get some nice refreshers instead of just always going back to Fire and Blood. Get some nice, beautiful artwork with it, because As much as I like Fire and Blood, the illustrations were nice, but they were black and white. They weren't full color amazing like these are, So, yeah, great. Highly recommended. I think I saw it on Amazon for like $35 the other day, and it's very much worth it, guys. So, if you are a fan, I think you'll like it. I had a lot of people ask me the day of, is this something that I actually need if I already have World of Ice and Fire? It's different enough because it does, like I said, it does focus more on just the Targaryen parts that it really just, it gave you the Cliff Notes version of World of Ice and Fire. This really dives into it. So I could see them continuing with it in that version right there. So worth it alone for just the artwork. Then one, guys, I was afraid that they were going to stop making these because I don't know what really happened. Something happened with the artist, I believe. I'm not really sure the details. But I had the first 4 illustrated editions, and then I noticed it's kind of stopped. I was like, they're not going to finish this series. I'm talking about Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, book number 5 in the illustrated. And yes, this will be my 4th version of the Harry Potter series. I'm going to get this, the Mina Lina, is that what they're called? The actual original ones, and I do have the trade paperbacks, which are now resting in my child's room. But I love the series, guys. I think that's been very much made clear on the channel that I do love the Harry Potter series, and these illustrated editions are absolutely incredible. I wish that I had these before I started doing the reread with my kid, because we would have really enjoyed, I think, going through there. There's Looney Lovegood there for you. So I think that's her. I believe that's her. Yeah, and there's Neville with his toad. So, again, it seems weird that this episode all I'm talking about is illustrations, but, I got 2 awesome illustrated editions. But, yeah, I hope they do not take as long to finish the series, but I am happy to know now at least that they are continuing it, because I was getting very, very concerned there for a while because they were not putting out any news or anything for these. And, yeah, I want it to be complete because it is just, it isn't just the art on the page. I mean, there's the art in the background and stuff that's really, you got to see these guys. They're worth it. They're very heavy. they're worth every cent. I know they aren't always cheap, but they do go on sale quite frequently. I actually think if you guys are in the States and you're a member of a warehouse club like a Sam's or a Costco, I see them there all the time for like $20. So worth every penny, even if you already own the originals. It would be great, I think, on a reread. And yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. I love me some Harry Potter. And I have no problems having multiple editions of the series because infinite reread value. Outside of that, guys, a couple of things that aren't really book related. I did get me a new Green Lantern coffee mug. We went to Six Flags in San Antonio. It is an amusement park for those of you that are not in the area and have no idea what that is. Amusement park, and it's owned by Warner Brothers, so they have DC Comics stuff everywhere. When I walked in, I was like, look, I got enough superhero mugs, unless they've got a Green Lantern mug, because that's one of the few that I don't have, and I love me some GL. Makes the coffee taste better. Blackest night, right? But I'm happy to get another coffee mug. My wife was not thrilled about it, but she understood, and that's why we also went to the Alamo in Texas, and San Antonio, Texas, and I got a mug there as well. Obviously, just says the Alamo. If you don't know, guys, the Alamo was basically a very, very integral part of Texas history and their war for independence. So it's a big, big deal. But on the other side, it says, "You may all go to hell and I will go to Texas." A very, very famous quote from Davy Crockett, who you would call one of the founding fathers of Texas, because he did fight and die at the Alamo. Was very, very important. Coming over from Tennessee, that's what he said to the, I believe, to the Senate in Tennessee, and said he was coming to Texas. And then there's a very, very famous line by him. But if you aren't out in Texas, you probably don't understand the significance of it and stuff like that. But it's really, really cool to people who live here. And I'm always happy to add not only more Texas merch, but more coffee mugs to the house. This one, I saw this at Spirit Halloween. And again, now if you aren't in the States, you don't know, every year around Halloween you'll see these warehouses pop up called Spirit Halloween. It's just giant mega Halloween stores that are only open for a couple months a year to sell Halloween decorations, costumes, all kinds of fun stuff for the spooky season. And I saw this and said, I probably don't need it or have room for it on my walls, but I also said I know that I will regret it if I don't. And it is a nice wooden frame picture of the headlines in Derry on Stephen King's It, when the kids go missing. So I thought it was a really, really awesome addition. Really have no idea. I almost just think I need to take all of the stuff down from the walls and just remodel up there, maybe, because right now I have one picture. You can't see it. I have like one picture above each shelf in here. Maybe I need to remodel, maybe. I'm not sure, but I've already got a framed Stephen King picture up there. But again, like I said, I felt like if I didn't get this, I'd look down the road for it, not be able to find it, and feel real bummed out that I didn't get it. So, second favorite book of all time. I have no problems going ahead and picking up some stuff like that. And lastly, guys, my wife got me this Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt, which is a twofer, really, because it represents the Slayer and the band Slayer. So, really, really awesome. Favorite TV show of all time. One of the kings of the thrash scene in the 80s in Slayer. So very, very happy to receive that. She pretty much got that for me. Said it was like a congratulations for me starting my secondary channel, Mike's Media Reviews, which I've actually been kind of lazy on the last week, but it's been crazy busy and haven't really got to put much attention into it. But yes, really awesome. She knows where my heart lies, and it does lie with a wooden stake with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I do love it. Now let's go ahead and move along, guys, to some things that some publishers sent me this month. Okay, received a big old stack from Baen, because Baen books, they are the bane of my existence. Not really. They're really, really awesome. I don't know any of these authors really by name, so I'm just going to kind of hold some of them up here. I've heard of Simon R. Green. I think a viewer actually sent me a box of Simon R. Green books, so no, he's still alive and kicking. I talked about it before, these 1637 alt history books. My wife read one of them, said it was a lot of fun, and there's tons of them. David Boop. It's edited by David Boop. That's a funny name. I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to say your name is funny. Just like Boop. That's all I could think of there. Oh yeah, the Romanov. That's a really cool cover right there. Yeah, so Baen is awesome. They send me this stuff, and these are some of the ones that, when people will reach out and say that they really like these, or they haven't been able to find that or whatever. I have a lot of friends that read a lot of sci-fi, just pulp sci-fi stuff, and I usually end up passing a lot of these over to them. But it's also one of those things where I tell people, I imagine someday I'm going to run out of stuff that I really, really like reading, and I'm going to get back into reading more standalone stuff. And I think some of the best standalone stuff out there is just some pulpy sci-fi, because it really does, it's low commitment. You don't have to do much. There's another Simon R. Green. Yeah, big old mailer this month. Eric Flint. Recognize that name. Recognize a couple of the last few here. Eric Flint is actually one who does the 1637 books, I believe. And let's see here. David Weber. I know David Weber's a big one. I think that I looked up that guy's Wikipedia page one time after one of these Baen mailers. Huge bibliography. And of course, I've heard of Lois McMaster Bujold. I believe a lot of people are reading for Kozigan Saga on my. That's her, right? I believe that's her. Is it Lois? Lewis? I always, every time, no matter what way I say it, people tell me I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, that's obviously the most recognizable one that I got from Baen this month. So thank you, Baen. You guys continue to kick so much ass, and I do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and move along to some authors who sent me some stuff this month. Now, what I always say with stuff I get from self-published independent authors is I probably won't have time to read these, but what I want to do is kind of, let you guys know about them. I'm going to drop links down below so you guys can check these out and see if it's something more that you'd be interested in, because I don't have a lot of information about them. I do want to thank them for sending me these things, because I always say I encourage them to do so, because if I can help get your name out there, I figure that's probably the best way that I can help you out. And, hopefully, it'll put a spotlight on some of your stuff. First up, this is from Nate Fitch. This is The Coroner. Very, very cool cover. Makes me think of those Plague Tale game that I was playing on Game Pass earlier this week. This is a really cool name, and I hope I don't butcher your actual name. The Third Generation Transfusional Train. That's wicked, right? By Gaten Battaglia? I'm just saying it like I would say Talia in the Godfather. So, but really great name. I love that quite a bit. That's really, really cool. This one is Fear Extinction from T.S. Becker. This one didn't come with a note, so I don't know if it was from the author or from the publisher, but doesn't matter. Like I said, I will link it down below. Really, really cool cover. These covers are all, say, who cloned the president? Well, now there's two of them. Here we go. This one actually from a Texas guy, Hank Schwabel. Hope I'm saying your name right, sir. Moonless Nocturne. Now, this is a Bram Stoker Award winner, and I do know that this is actually a collection of some horror short stories. But yeah, a local guy out here in Houston of me. So thank you so much, Hank. I do appreciate you, and he did actually send me a nice note, and I'm happy that I was able to get the book, and hopefully I can put this on my spooky season list. At least some of these short stories for next season, because I've heard actually some really good feedback on this one. So thank you so much, and I love the cover. There we go. And then this one is from Michael Schultheus. Hope I'm saying it right, sir. He sent me the Rostaville Saga, the whole thing, the whole trilogy. This is Altar of My Fate, The Spiral of My Destiny, and The Third Way of God. I'm going to show you these covers because they are pretty magnificent. What I'll say about like independent covers is some of them have gotten really, really good. Now, I don't know if some of these guys are actually writers and artists, or if they just know a really good artist, because I think back to some of the early independent stuff I got, it looked like somebody was printing it up on Windows 95 and in MS Paint or something. Some of these are just freaking stunning. So thank you guys, I do appreciate this. Oh, there are a couple more. I got some hardcovers actually. This is from Michael Miller. This is called Ascendant, Songs of Chaos, book number 1. Love a nice hardcover, and that makes me think of Aragon. That's what it looks like to me. There's some inheritance there. So don't know again very much about it. Let's see here. He is a NIEA winner, National Indie Excellence Award. So this guy's got some recognition on the back of there. So let's check that one out. This one is from a friend of the channel. I say that because she has been a longtime viewer, and she's been on my Discord, and it has been really just a pleasure to get to know. This is from Shauna Lawless, The Children of Gods and Fighting Men, and this cover, guys, is magnificent. It is like foil. It's stunning. It's actually awesome. I know that the Gwyn Bros, brothers Gwyn, they actually talked to her about this on their channel, and it sounds very, very cool. So basically, it's basically if you imagine like an Irish or Scottish Cersei Lannister. I was like, well, that's a pretty good sales job right there. But yeah, Sean, I'm so happy for you. This is really, really awesome looking. I appreciate so much that you thought of me. Thank you so much. I was actually just like gasped like that when I actually opened the box and saw it, just because it's just so beautiful. So make sure you give the publisher and or the artist a high five from me when you see it. And this last one here, this is from a gentleman named Jacques Davis. I hope I'm saying it right. It just goes by J. Davis on the front with Craig Grierson. This is called Soul, From Gold to Iron and Rust. Now, this is the artist who did the Red Rising board game that I talked about a few book hauls ago. And yeah, guys, the art is freaking amazing. This guy is a spectacular artist. Yeah, is that stunning or what? Yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. I really love whatever pen that you use, Jay, to sign this. It really does pop with the book. So yeah, amazing stuff. And thank you so much for thinking of me with this beautiful, beautiful hardcover. I can't say thank you enough. And again, I hope you guys will check out some of these in the links down below, because what I always say is at one point, all of our favorite authors were independent authors, so make sure that you guys continue to follow your dreams, and hopefully viewers, you will check out some of these links down below. Now, there are some things from viewers, guys, but it's gonna be really short this month because no one sent me a book this month. I didn't get any books this month. I did get a couple of things from viewers, but no books this month. So probably for the better as I look around and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks down here. This is from Dustin. He sent me a Blu-ray of a movie called The Guest and suggested that I add it to my spooky season list. Well, Dustin, thank you. It'll probably have to go to next year's Fright Fest. Actually, spooky season is what I call the books. Fright Fest is what I call the movies. Probably have to go to next year's Fright Fest because wife did get strep throat, and that really, really dug into our viewing plans for the month. So we didn't even get to finish the movies that we had planned on doing this year. I doubt that she would let me squeeze anything new in. We're still going to try to watch those. We're just going to, end up watching them over Thanksgiving break instead of, Fright Fest. But hey, it still counts, right? This is from Jamie, who sent me a nice note and some bookmarks, which my kids already took a couple. It's really cool. Star Wars ones. My kid took the one that has the butterfly on it because my youngest, his favorite book is still the very hungry caterpillar, and he put it inside that book. So thank you for the effort. I appreciate this. This is really awesome, and it's a great idea. I still don't understand why people pay for bookmarks. I mean, I've been guilty of it. I've done it plenty, but it's you just take anything and you can just make a bookmark out of it, right? Like a piece of paper if you want to. Now, this piece of paper is very special. It's just a letter I got from a gentleman named John. I'm not going to share the contents of the letter because it's very personal stuff. But first, I want to say your penmanship is amazing. It's very beautiful handwriting. And also the message inside. I think it's very awesome what you've been able to overcome. And I think it's great that I have even a small sliver of being something, that you've enjoyed during all that. Thank you so much, guys. A handwritten letter right here. Thank you so much. It means the world. I do appreciate it. And I hope that I haven't made your TBR too long and you have plenty of great things to read about. I'm surprised this one doesn't happen enough, guys. It is a no name, but it is a religious booklet. Have you been hugged by Jesus today? That kind of thing. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. I get a lot of messages on Instagram and in Messenger, Facebook Messenger stuff about like, have you felt God's love today and things like that. But I never actually get like anything actually sent to me. This is pretty much a first. And then my pen pal Judy sends me 2 cards this month, and she sent me a nice Starbucks and a Barnes & Noble gift card. You continue to be just amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, that you send me something every month just means the world. I think it's just so great just to get you get a card and it's got some, personal message inside. To me, I don't know if it's because I'm old or what, and I remember when we still used snail mail as our primary form of communication. It's so much more personal than, a message on Goodreads or, a tweet or something like that. It just means that someone actually took time out of their day to get a pen, put it to paper, and send it to you. That means everything. And guys, pretty light month, like I said, but what do you know? I did go for 20 minutes because I really think that at this point, you could give me a pencil. It's like a Wolf of Wall Street, sell me this pen. I think I could do that with the pencil, but really just talk about anything, not really sell you anything, because it's amazing. I don't think I'm a very good salesperson. However, everybody tells me that, their TBRs are too long because of me. And now this video is too long because of me. So guys, thank you for watching. Drop in the comments. Let me know what you guys got in October. Did you get any new little goodies? Why don't you go ahead and let me know there, and I'll talk to you in the comments.